Welcome to another day in the Matrix. This is Waters Above. It's been an interesting start to the week so far, with Bitcoin continuing to get rejected below 38K and altcoins finally cooling off after a month straight of bullish energy. In my last video, we outlined the importance of the end of this month of November and an expected pullback into that time frame, and here we are. Many alts are down 10 to 15% in just the past couple weeks, and our eyes are on a sub 60 cent XRP for finalizing our discounted accumulations before potentially hitting $1 at the start of 2024, which is just around the corner, and we'll be the few who are prepared for what I see being an incredibly bullish start to the next year. So I'll be covering everything you need to know about this short-term correction in today's video and sharing my outlook on how I see the next couple weeks playing out for this crypto market. And an update, due to popular demand, I'm currently running my biggest sale of the year on my courses over at watersabove.com/Black Friday. So depending on where you're at in your journey, I have my beginner-friendly crypto mastermind course, which teaches everything you need to know about how to become conscious investor so you can build the proper foundation for acquiring generational wealth. You'll learn everything from how to build a portfolio to how to read the charts and become proficient in technical analysis. And this course even includes my full exit strategy blueprint if you're interested in my strategies for de-risking and taking profits so that you can be well prepared for this upcoming bull run. And by the time you finish this course, you will effectively be a self-reliant investor. And with the way things have been going in this market lately, now is the time to start building these skills so that you can be one of the few who actually takes advantage of this market cycle. We all know that most investors during 2021 bull run either joined the party too late or they weren't prepared with an exit strategy when the market was starting to top out. So this is the chance in 2024 to finally take action and be a part of this wealth transfer. And this crypto mastermind will give you all the tools you need to have an edge on this market and make this bull run the most profitable one yet. And for those that tune into my weekly live streams and resonate with what we talk about over there, my expansion mastermind course explores all the concepts centered around expanding consciousness. And since last month, this course is now 100% complete with almost 90 course lessons. I just added 16 new videos to it recently, giving it even more value. And this course covers everything from mindset, embodying abundance, and keeping you focused in a world full of distractions, to health and wellness lessons that cover how to properly detox the body so that you can achieve optimal health, which is the true wealth. You'll learn how to effectively reduce inflammation, lose weight, or even get better quality sleep. This holistic system supports your well-being so that you can be even more effective at what you focus your attention on, so that you can invest your time and energy into serving your purpose. You could consider this my digital coaching course, where I coach you through each course lesson and even giving you accountability tasks to keep you on track along the way. So these courses are currently on sale through the week. It's my biggest sale of the year. So if you want to take advantage of this Black Friday sale, you can visit watersabove.com/Black Friday and use the promo code Black Friday at checkout. And this promo code has no order limit, so you can even use it if you'd like to package together a couple courses. And since I get asked this often, I usually recommend to package together the Crypto Mastermind with the Expansion Mastermind, since my exit strategy blueprint is included with the Crypto Mastermind course. This gives you the best value for only getting 2 courses, especially while they're on sale. And I greatly appreciate your support, and I'm looking forward to hearing about your journey with these courses over the next couple months. I know 2024 is going to be an absolutely transformative year for all of us. So if you're new here, we do cryptocurrency technical analysis and combine it with Gematria, Numerology, and Astrology to understand these markets. Feel free to subscribe and turn on the bell notification to stay updated when new videos come out. And make sure to give this video a like and share this channel with other conscious beings to help grow our community. And with that being said, let's take the clear pill. So I'm sure many of you are actually aware that the SEC has come after Kraken crypto exchange, a US-based crypto exchange. And it's very interesting how this was exactly 24 weeks since the SEC sued Binance.us on June 5th of this year. So let me just quickly get into this code. You have yesterday being the 20th, you have June 5th of this year. And you could see that this is exactly 24 weeks apart. So this 24 code has significance because we're now in the Hebrew year of 5,784, and you're going to see that that adds up to 24. And we're talking about Kraken exchange. Kraken in Gematria equals 24. Again, Gematria is an alphanumerical cipher, taking a number value and applying it to a letter. And I actually teach this inside of my crypto mastermind course, and I even have a full Gematria masterclass that's added to it. So it gives a lot of value for those that are interested in how to use Gematria and these decoding strategies for crypto. Getting back to this, we have Kraken giving you this 24. We also have Binance USA giving you this 89. And why that matters a lot, because it's a little bit more esoteric. 89 is your 24th prime number. And you could see that right here. Also, the mirror of the number 24 is 42. And you could see Binance USA has 181. Well, that's your 42nd prime number. That's very important to know because specifically with the US market and everything that's going down here and the SEC coming after everybody they could possibly catch, and it's just creating this FUD type effect on the market. But you can see now it's not affecting the markets as much when it comes to the price action. What happened yesterday with Kraken has barely made the market flinch. That's a huge sign that we're in a bull run. So getting back to this, we were talking about Binance USA giving you 181. That's the 42nd prime. And Binance alone in Gematria gives you that 42, reverse reduction. The word Kraken derives from the German word for octopus. It's essentially an octopus. And you can see by the code, octopus gives you 38. And that's crucial because this is a little bit more esoteric. But 38, you'd say this number, 3 8s. And 3 times 8 becomes 24. This number 38, I want you to keep it in mind for the rest of this year due to this connection I just shared with you about the Hebrew calendar. And we're moving into the Gregorian year of 2024, the 24 year. Kraken also has similar code to FTX. FTX giving you this 17. Kraken also giving you 17 in the same cipher. And we have FTX exchange giving you 117 and 54 in the same cipher of the CEO, Dave Ripley. And you can see the 11754 code matching perfectly. And we know these are all things that are being ritualized lately. This company, Kraken, actually laid off around 30% of its workforce around a year ago, in November 2022, coincidentally when the crypto market was at its bottom. I'm sure that was on purpose. And I suppose AI has a lot to do with this, since AI will replace many of those types of jobs. That's what it was designed to do anyways. So it's interesting that this ritual happened with Kraken yesterday on the same exact day that it became news that Binance is prepared to settle with the US Justice Department for $4 billion. I believe they actually settled as of today. Let me know in the comments if that's true. But I'm sure some of you have noticed by now these fours have been a very big theme. Remember Elon Musk acquiring Twitter for $44 billion? 44 is 2 4s, which esoterically becomes 24, 2 4s. Then he names Twitter X, and X is the 24th letter in the alphabet. He literally named one of his kids X, and this X goes back in his timeline to the genesis of his fame. Remember, we're moving into the year of 2024. This is what I'm calling the year of the X, and a big reason why I'm focused more than ever on building up my XRP position. Lastly, I also find it interesting how this event happened with Kraken, and we have this 60 code. It matches the same cipher as OpenAI, which was something that was also just ritualized. You see that 60 there. So we got 60 in OpenAI, Kraken giving you 60 as well. And we just had this become the talk of the town as well. And they've been talking about the CEO, or previous CEO, Sam Altman, which happened on November 17th, just this weekend, which, let me show you how coded this all is. When I go to November 17th, that's the day leaving 44 days left in the year. And remember, I just mentioned that Elon acquired Twitter for $44 billion. Well, Elon is allegedly one of the co-founders of OpenAI, and he's a board member. So his ritual was to buy Twitter for $44 billion, turn it into X, then create a company called XAI on the day that Silicon Valley Bank failed. And then they ritualized Sam Altman on the day leaving 44 days left in the year. This is all happening during Sam Altman's 38th year of age. 38. Remember earlier I said 3 8s, 3 times 8 is 24. So you can see how scripted this all is. Another funny thing to bring up is his birthday being on the 22nd of April. And if we connect that to next year, to the day he got fired, you're going to see that from this day of being fired to his next birthday, it's 22 weeks and 3 days. The 322 code. Remember, skull and bones, 322. And we have this being the 223 year. So he gets fired 22 weeks and 3 days before. I mean, how incredible is that? How coded this is. So the following day after he was fired was the 322nd day of the year. And if we were to include the end date, this is amazing how from the 322nd day of the year to his next birthday is 22 weeks and 3 days, all connected to this year, the 223 year. Absolutely mind-blowing and an obvious ritual. It was obviously all scripted. This whole firing Sam Altman from OpenAI to push him into Microsoft thing, that was all planned all along. The apex predator has had technology like ChatGPT and even more advanced than ChatGPT for a while now. And they just give us this thing called ChatGPT so that we can play with it like a dog playing fetch. We're currently in the phase of normalization when it comes to artificial intelligence. They're letting us play with it now so that it could be normalized. It's part of this ideological subversion tactic. And anyone who is conscious saw this coming from a million miles away. Remember, I told you the whole reason for the chess move of putting Elon into X, and this will turn into pretty much the new economy. CBDCs and them using this platform for transactions almost like a WeChat or Alipay, something like that. It's to bring what they're doing in China to this part of the world. I hope you can see through this. He's not a good guy. It's not about praising this individual. He's just a technocrat. All these big tech companies are pouring in absurd amounts of capital to AI research and development. They aim to reduce the world's workforce by at least a third across the board. This way, the CEOs and board members can profit even more. It's all by design. 2024 is going to be a very important year for these transhumanists to progress in their vision. With a crypto bull run, it'll make all this tech seem even more sexy. All the while, CBDCs will launch one nation at a time, more countries will join BRICS, the de-dollarization will continue, and this war narrative will grow stronger, because war is their most profitable ritual. So, what's the positive of all of this? I think a lot of people by now might feel some doom and gloom, and I want you to be aware that the positive of all of this is that you have awareness, so that you can prepare yourself. So remember, during a crisis is where the most millionaires are made. I know that sounds dark, but it's just how this matrix works. When there's chaos in the world, the masses get distracted, and the ones who get prepared get to take advantage of everyone else being distracted. That's the essence of a wealth transfer. The wealth transfers from distracted hands into focused hands. And there will always be a tragedy happening somewhere in the world. I want to remind you of that. The only reason most of us even know about the tragedies that are going on in the world is because of the news. That news is designed to steal your attention, to distract you. And the masses willfully give up their life force energy to these distractions. This happens year after year, bull run after bull run, cycle after cycle, and then the individual questions why their life is the way that it is. It's the definition of insanity. But here, we're conscious investors, and it's beautiful that we're all aligned here at this exact moment to spread this awareness to those that have the ears to hear and the eye to see. And that's why 2024 will be the most transformational year for us, because we're focused and we won't let any of these distractions get in the way of our vision. So to quickly wrap up our decode today, just a reminder from my last video about this upcoming full moon on November 27th. And this full moon being very important. It's about a week away from today as I film this video. That full moon is next Monday, and my last video went over the significance of specifically November 30th into December 1st, tied to some key dates in the Hebrew calendar referencing this current war between Israel and Palestine. Definitely go check out that video if you haven't already, especially if you're an XRP investor, because the technical analysis I shared in that last video was crucial and so far is playing out exactly how we anticipated, with a correction starting on the past new moon we just had. Then XRP hit above 70 cents, and we were looking for a downside target below 60 cents, which we've had XRP test below 60 cents on 4 daily candles so far, including today. So giving us several opportunities to accumulate a sub 60 cent XRP before we make our next leg up. So now would be the perfect time to pivot over to the charts and see the setup for this week. But before we get into the TA, go ahead and give this video a like if you haven't already. Spread some love in the comment section. That's what we're all about here. And what do you know? As I'm filming right now, we're seeing XRP trade below 60 cents. We're seeing it backtest this major trend line that I've been talking about for a while now. Multiple rejections that we've been getting on this resistance. And we're starting to really see how aligned this moon cycle is with XRP at this time. I've been warning about this. I actually sent out a warning well in advance on the day that we were topping out in the microcycle. It goes back to over here. I was speaking about this 88 RSI that we were getting on XRP, and we were pumping a little too hard too soon, and a pullback was needed. And what happens when we get these 88 to 90 RSI levels is we tend to have a pullback back test into the following full moon. And I shared all of this all the way back on, it was November 6th. So we're here on November 21st. It's powerful stuff, guys. I was sharing this well in advance to keep you updated. And if you want to follow along here, just go to x.com and you can see @watersabove. Just make sure you spell it correctly. Everyone else besides this account is a scammer pretending to be me. Getting back to this, I'll be starting this video with XRP today since we're having all of this play out as I speak, and it's important because these could really be some of the most discounted opportunities that we get before we head into $1 in the first couple weeks of 2024. So we have a couple of targets to the downside, but remember I've talked about this 3-day chart, 55 simple moving average, and I've also talked about the 2-day chart, the 2-day chart 55 simple and the 3-day chart 34 EMA. So that's exactly what I want to go over right now. We have the 3-day chart loaded up for XRP. This red moving average right here is the 34 exponential. That's right about 57 cents. Okay. So far we've hit 58 cents. So we're talking about like a kiss away from 57. I mean, this is really getting close. And as we close the next 3-day candle, which will be coming up in just a couple days into our weekly close for the traditional markets, heading into the weekend, we will probably have this 34 exponential move a little bit up, confirm above 57. And that's what happened last time in this fractal over here that I was preparing everyone for. So when we go back, I should actually go to this chart because this one's a little bit messed up right over here. I was talking about this playing out all over again. We topped out around this new moon. We came back down, pulled back into the full moon, which was right around here. Let me show you with the moon cycles. So the blue one is the new moon. The white one is the full moon. Perfect execution. All right. So I want you to see how we tapped down below the 34 exponential a couple of times during this whole phase. And we had a little bit of sideways before it was just straight line breakout. Okay. Now, remember, this was all happening during the Ripple SEC case where Ripple was just sued for all of this. And now we have at least a little bit of clarity, two forms of clarity. And you should know this by now if you're an XRP investor. XRP is no longer deemed a security. And we also had some updates between Brad Garlinghouse and Ripple and Chris Larson just quite recently. I believe that was what the Hex community was leveraging on to talk about the pump that they were getting in their token. And I was warning them as well of this short-term top and to expect deeper correction. And that's also playing out. That was another warning that I gave, by the way, for the Hex community. And I hope everyone could see by now that I'm really doing my best to help as many people as possible. A lot of the people in the Hex community have come over to my work and have been very supportive, and I appreciate and I'm grateful for every single one of you. When I made this post, everyone was saying that I was wrong because this was the big payday and that we would just keep going up and that we shouldn't have a correction. Well, that's definitely not the case. So far, we've seen about a 60% correction, 50 to 60%, and we could actually have a full repeat of this fractal over here. And I was warning them to tell them that this is a huge opportunity. And if you look at the day that I made this post, it was when we were effectively trading at 0085, all right? So we were trading all the way up here. Pretty good warning, all right? I'm trying to let people know that there is a system here that runs this market, and it is not exoteric, it is esoteric. It's Gematria, Numerology, Astrology, that's what runs this market. We've proven it time and time again with so many projects by now, it's undeniable. We're not trying to say I told you so, we're trying to help. We're trying to make our community as strong as possible so that we all benefit together. So getting back to this XRP play, we have this 3-day 34 EMA sloping above 57 cents. We're pretty much right there as we speak. There's really not much of a difference between 58 and 57 when you're talking about potential double digits at the end of next year. That's talking about plus $10, and my upside targets are reaching into the 20s. So I'll be covering that later. It's not as important right now while XRP is below $1. We're not moon boys here, like surfing on hopium. We're going step by step, and so far, if you've been following along this channel for the past 6 months, 7 months, 8 months, you could see the accuracy is pretty unbelievable. So this is how we can conquer this market, by taking our emotions out of it and just seeing the charts clearly and decoding it. So we have this full moon coming up in about 6 days or so from now. We're getting a pretty noticeable red candle. I'm personally going to be buying this dip. Also on my Patreon recently, patreon.com/watersabove, I released a podcast just a couple of days ago where I went over 20 projects. I even fully went over my own investment thesis, talked about my portfolio, everything that I'm going to be doing in the short term. That was probably one of the most valuable podcasts I've ever created. It was almost 3 hours long. I hung out with the community answering all of their questions, and that membership is $9.99 a month. You don't only get that one podcast, you get over 130 podcasts in your membership and access to our Discord server. So this recent one was really something that I'll be using as a reference point moving forward. And I've been putting emphasis on the end of this month leading into early December as one of those final solid buying opportunities for us to get. And what's amazing about all of this is we know the stock market is incredibly overheated. So if the stock market's overheated and starts to pull back, well, we're going to see that hit the altcoins for sure. We're going to see that hit Bitcoin. But remember, every month at this stage of the bull run, we just continue to progress for at least up until I would aim for April. Between now and April, every full moon, we should just be setting higher lows. Not on all the altcoins, but on Bitcoin. And generally, Bitcoin will bring up those altcoins based on rebalancing of Bitcoin dominance. Okay, so we have our targets already. We can see, obviously, we're hitting some lower levels. We're punching through it right now as I'm speaking. Nice to see. I actually would love for this pullback to come into the 56, 57 territory, hit on that 2-day 55 simple that I've talked about, and then bounce from there. As for upside targets, we could have a little bit of sideways moving in through the next month. A little bit of time. I would say that it's potential to at least have 3 to 4 weeks of sideways, and then after that, we could actually just blast straight up into the January new moon. So keep that in mind. This is a time frame where we're kind of making one little last shakeout, and then we're going to move. It's really one of those end of the year kind of Black Friday opportunities, if you know what I'm saying. We got one last year. This month of November is very elusive. We've had some incredible pumps during the month of November. We've also had some of our biggest pullbacks in the month of November. So keep that in mind. Q4 is very much of that essence. It's about confusion. It's about retail not knowing what to do. And the market maker does an excellent job at making that all come to fruition for them. Because when you get confused, you sell and they take your money. Right? Of course, I'm not speaking at you directly, but you know what I'm saying. So let's get over into Ethereum, just see what's happening over there, and then we're going to finish up today's video. ETH, this has been a really actual nice rally for ETH. I was not anticipating this to hold so well. We had ETF news come in. Of course, that's what they leveraged on exoterically. And you could just tell by my reaction that I'm quite surprised that we're holding this 1900 level. I would at least anticipate a pushback to this 34 EMA on the daily, but so far ETH is incredibly strong. Now, all we would need is Bitcoin breaking below 36K, which we aren't far away from. And then I think we'll get a retest there. That would be the most ideal place for us to have one final bounce, potentially down to 1850. I know that's asking for a little much, but that seems to be about the horizontal range. And that would be a total 12% or so, 11% pullback from the current microcycle top, which was perfectly on the last new moon. I would effectively imagine this comes into our upcoming full moon, and this could last up until the pivot of the third quarter moon, which is on December 4th. So again, keep that in mind. Patience is everything right now, okay? So in the short term, I am anticipating a little bit more downside. It's obvious that we're continuing higher lows, lower highs in this micro structure. We've gotten rejected on what could be a triple top structure, which is actually really bullish. So it's giving me confidence that January 2024 will be a breakout time for Ethereum. It could be even as early as December. But that would be clearing this 2150 level and then heading up into about 24 pretty quickly. So $2,400 Ethereum. That would signal lots of strength into the altcoins in general, so that's why you need to pay attention to that. And our short-term opportunity on ETH is not much better. It's about 1850. It's kind of like the XRP situation. We're not as bearish right now. We're getting too bullish, and that's really great. It's nice to finally leave this essence that we've been trapped in for over 500, 600 days in some cases. So let's go to Bitcoin, and then we'd be wrapping this up. Bitcoin has been playing along this major resistance line, getting rejected over and over and over again since pretty much a month. We have 28 days of getting rejected along this line. You can see our new moon top. We did effectively have that Twin Towers candle that I warned about in my last video. What we're seeing right now could play out as a micro head and shoulders, left shoulder, head, right shoulder. That's super short term, by the way. That's not even a proper pattern. When you're looking at stuff like this, you'd have to be getting into like the 4-hour chart. Now you could see very clearly with what I'm talking about. So with this 4-hour, left shoulder, head, right shoulder could be in play. We have this support line that's also been an incredible support for about a month. Every time Bitcoin gets back to it, just bounces. You could see even on the 4-hour candles, that's super clean. So I would actually be looking at the 4-hour chart for anyone right now. When you're looking at any larger pullbacks, these 200s tend to get retested. As we close 4-hour candles, this 200 is going to slowly approach 35,000. We're already above the lunar eclipse level on these 200s, so that's great to see. I already told everyone way far in advance that we typically close the following full moon after our past lunar eclipse on a higher high. So we close higher on this full moon, and because the lunar eclipse was 34K, that means anything over 34K is fair game. It would be beautiful to see a breakdown to 35 on Bitcoin, backtest these 200s, bounce, and then keep it moving. So I don't think we're going to have much lower than that right now, although I would love to. Don't get me wrong, I would really like another low push on Bitcoin because that would just send alts into a flash correction, and that would be a great opportunity for us. So we are approaching this full moon very soon, and it's important that we take action on this one because we might not be getting much better opportunities until maybe Q3, Q2 of next year. This is really about as good as it gets. And when we get to that time frame of Q3 next year, we're probably going to be higher across the board. So right now is just better overall prices. So I'm going to wrap this one up here. We have our pullback levels to consider. I've been sharing these same numbers. Right now, it's been kind of low volatility and we're just moving slowly up, holding levels while the altcoins dip a little bit lower. If we get any of these targets hit on these three major coins, we've effectively hit it on XRP, but then we will see overall all the altcoins move at the same time. That's how this algorithm works. And I'll be following up on this next week. Really looking forward to seeing how this all plays out. I'll be sharing anytime I'm buying or selling over in my community on our Discord server, which is included in the Patreon membership at patreon.com/watersabove. And again, I have this Black Friday sale running. It's my biggest sale of the year over at watersabove.com/Black Friday. Using the promo code Black Friday will get you the biggest discount I've had available this entire year. You could package together courses if you'd like. And again, I greatly appreciate your support. It really means the world to me. And I'll be seeing you guys next week. Wishing you all a beautiful rest of your day in the Matrix. Much love.